I saw that Caitlyn Clark had some sort of stalker that they arrested. Like that's
is that the basketball
player?
Yeah.
I think I saw. Was it like that crazy guy who was sitting in the courtroom, and like as they were reading the charges, he's like, "Guilty as charged." he's like, "Yes, I stalked her, and I'll do it again as soon as you release me."
Morning, Mr. Lewis.
Guilty.
No.
So Caitlyn Clark is more famous than any male basketball player under 30. I've heard this question asked again and again. Like, is there anyone in the NBA under 30 as famous as Caitlyn Clark? Like, I could ask you, do you know Anthony Edwards? You think he's pretty good?
I couldn't pick him out of a lineup.
Right? But you know,
I know John Morant because there's this funny song about him pulling guns out.
He does
I got my gun because I'm John Morant. Shoot you in your face, bitch, I'm John Morant. I don't give a fuck. It's just like this dude and then it's clips of him pulling guns out on Instagram.
What about that one guy like Giannis Papadopoulos or like some Greek name?
Wemby. Why can't I think Wembanyama's first name right now?
I think I can answer this.
Oh, I know him. But
I
there's
hate
another
basketball with such a fiery passion.
Victor.
I don't know any of those people, but I know Caitlyn Clark. I would recognize her in a Starbucks or whatever. I would, if I saw her, I would recognize her. But other than the fact that they're all like 6'6" or taller, I wouldn't know any of those young players. I wouldn't recognize Bronny. Other than he looks so much like LeBron, I'd probably catch on. I wouldn't recognize any of those people. I really wouldn't. I'd recognize the white guys, that Jokic guy. I'd recognize him.
Yep.
He's got a distinctive look about him.
Dude, that guy's so funny. I don't think he can jump more than 6 inches. He's one of the least athletic basketball players in the history of the game. Like, I honestly think, like, if you like jump and with straight legs, your heels have to be more than 6 inches off the ground. He'd be like,
how tall is he?
7 foot.
Over 7?
Near 7. And maybe
I just read that if you're over 7 feet tall, your odds of being in the NBA are 1 in 6.
Yeah.
Like, for everybody else, it's like 1 in like 6 million or something, like 60 million. But if you're over 7 feet, it's 1 in 6.
He's probably the best basketball player on the planet right now, and he can't jump. It's pretty neat. He just what he does really well, and he has like a vision that he sees the game develop like Gretzky.
What would you think if they made like dunks like a different point amount than other things, like to
higher or lower?
I don't know, because what I want is more dunks, because it seems like, and I think I read somewhere that there's less dunking. And then when I watch highlights on ESPN, I don't see people doing the crazy shit that they did in the 90s, like those crazy like windmill dunks and stuff. I don't see that too much.
Yeah, maybe they min-max the sport too much.
I don't know. Maybe it's not cool anymore, or maybe they're just trying not to get hurt. Maybe I don't know anything about the game.
It's super cool to dunk, but the analytics, like, they moneyballed basketball. And I'm going to try to do this, even though I suck at math now. Like, if you shoot for 2, then you might hit that 50% of the time. So every shot's worth 1. If you shoot for 3, then you hit that like 40% of the time. So every shot's worth what, 1.2? Did I do that right?
Yes.
So that means that anytime you're not shooting threes, you're leaving money on the table. And they just shoot 3 after 3 after 3. And even like 7 foot tall guys with no one in front of them are stopping at the 3-point line and shooting there on a fast
But you got to
break.
draw more fouls on the inside, though, if you're shooting, from the paint. Like how does that money ball out? That to me seems like the move, because you're taking an easier shot and getting the and one.
Might be hard to make it when you're getting fouled, but you're right. Fouls are worth a lot too. I don't know how much a foul's worth, but I bet it's worth like 1.2 also.
I hate the game, but I really do enjoy watching the players shoot the shit from any game. There's something about like in the NFL, especially, those guys are always in that helmet. You don't really get to see what they're about. And then you see some like defensive end that just seems like some big brute, and he starts breaking shit down on this ridiculous level. And he's like, "Oh yeah, you see how his palms are flat? This is a rush. And it's like, what do you mean his palms are flat?" like the way they're picking up on stuff and how smart those guys are is really surprising. So I like the podcast with players talking about reminiscing, especially. I like that stuff a lot, even though I didn't give a shit when they were playing.
I want to talk NBA for a second, and you guys are the people I want to ask.
Okay,
the NBA's ratings have gone down, and
I heard,
and by like a bunch, and
really?
it's not like systemic across all sports. I think the NFL has gone up, baseball's gone up, and I think hockey may have gone up too. I'm not sure about
UFC
that.
up.
UFC is up,
Ooh,
but
so
NBA is
losing.
down. So it's not like sports are down. It's a streaming issue or something. It's specific to the NBA. And there's a couple theories. One is they embraced some leftist stuff too tightly during the COVID bubble. Like they'd wear maybe like I forget Black Lives Matter. They'd replace their name on their jersey with stuff like that. There were like a half a dozen slogans. They were all like Black Lives and stop, don't shoot type stuff. So one is that they've cut off half of their viewer base by being too blue team. One is the 3-point shot that, you know, every team plays the same way now, just shooting from deep. I forget some of the other theories on why. Players changing teams too often. Like, you know, more so than football and hockey, a single player can become a franchise's identity. And you know, when that guy moves, like who are you even rooting for now? So one is
I
that.
just think it's so inaccessible to me as an outsider looking in.
Okay.
Like when I see a game, it's just a blur out there. The coverage to me of that game, and it's just the way the game is. Like even basketball, the camera works so good. I feel like are there cameras out on the ice in hockey? Yeah, I feel like basketball's got. There's all. I feel like I'm right there with them in basketball. Like I see the guy's face. I see him sweating. I see his tongue sticking out. And hockey, I'm just disconnected from them. Even in football, where they're also covered up like that, man, they get those cameras right in there, and I can hear the quarterback audibling and stuff. It feels cold, like when I watch a hockey game. Like I'm very disconnected from what's happening on the ice.
I can see why basketball wouldn't be everyone's cup of tea. Like one of the things I didn't like about it before I started following it more was scoring. Like
it's too much
in hockey or football. When somebody scores, that's a noteworthy event. In basketball, it's going to happen 50 times tonight. You know, you might get 52, I get 51. This is scores, not points. But one of them doesn't seem to be a make or break like it is in the other sports. Instead, it's more of a flow type thing, you know, who's doing well lately. So I can get why that wouldn't be for everyone. But if ratings are down, I mean, that's not a new factor. I was just curious if you guys were going to be like, or it could because the players are all black. They're not all black, but they're largely black. Maybe a lot of people aren't interested in such a black dominated sport.
Well, that's definitely not it. No. All right. So if anything, it's like this is the time for the white fan. I bet white viewership is up. I bet black viewership is down. It would be my guess. I don't know why, but the white stars, like if anything,
those European guys who are really good.
Yeah, there's a couple there's a couple white guys who are in the top 10 best players in the world, and like Woody thinks that Jokic guy might be the best, or maybe he just is the best. Like this is
I think he's modern day MVP 3 out of the last 4 years. So
like a modern day Larry
resume.
You got a modern day Larry Bird doing his thing right now. So this is the time for the white fan to be getting involved. You know, if you care about, you know, that sort of thing. But I don't know. I don't know why the viewership is down.
Yeah, I don't know enough about it.
Okay.
About basketball. I just don't like you can't follow you can't follow basketball and hockey. You have to pick one. Like it was an easy pick for me, but like if you actually want to watch games, you can't follow both, or it would be.
That's the other thing. The games feel inconsequential. Like there's so many games that each one is so inconsequential. I think the more games there are, the less each one matters. Right? You have to really enjoy just watching people play hockey now to watch a game because how many hockey games are there in a year? It's 180, I'm guessing.
No, 82 for NBA and NHL.
Isn't it fun that they're the exact same amount?
Yeah, and they're like seasons are like almost like
a week or half of each other.
Like 10-day overlap.
Yeah.
So,
I always know because it's like the Stanley Cup is finishing when like the NBA Finals is starting or something like that. Like it's such an overlap.
It's just too many games to me. That's one of the things that's cool about the NFL. I think that each one matters so much.
Yeah,
college even more.
College even more. Although the playoff system takes a little bit away from the bowls as well as that tightrope that you had to walk every year of being basically perfect and being unbeaten.
Yeah,
and then the strength of schedule bullshit.
Playoffs. Like some team would go undefeated and not make the big game, and then some other team would take a loss or two. And
in 2000 or 2001, somewhere around that time period, USC won a national title when it was like they were like co-champs with like Oregon or something. They did some kind of crazy thing where like they were like, all right, you're number one, and it was awful. The original way that they would just vote and decide who was best. So a playoff is just so much better. It's a shame Georgia didn't win, but I think we're going to get down to the best team. We didn't have our quarterback, so it probably wasn't going to go well.
I forgot.
Yeah.
How did your replacement play?
Not good. Not good.
Mm-hmm.
He didn't score.
Okay.
I don't remember the final score. I try to scourge such things from my memory, but we might not have scored a touchdown. It might have been only 3 points. I don't really remember though, because again, I tried to
forget.
Try to forget.